I'm here tonight to continue advocating for critical thinking in our community. Our Constitution and civil rights have been written so concrete and ironclad as to not allow an overreaching government to encroach on our liberties. Our own Board of Education also has a set of policies that govern and protect the liberties and freedoms of our students. The Enfield Board of Education declares in policy number 5132 that appropriate dress is essential in order to create and maintain the best environment for the students of Enfield Public Schools. This environment must allow students to learn and teachers to teach without distraction or disruption to the learning environment, as well as be indicative of the dignity, pride, and respect our students have for our school, community, and themselves. It also states restrictions on freedom of dress shall be applied whenever the mode of dress in question constitutes a safety or health hazard for the student or those around the student. In addition, restrictions on freedom of dress and adornment may not reflect discrimination as to civil rights or enforce particular codes of morality or religious tenets. A child stating they cannot breathe constitutes as a safety and a health hazard. Elevated levels of 14,000 parts per million of carbon dioxide after 3 minutes in a mask constitutes a safety and health hazard. A face mask contaminated with pneumonia, tuberculosis, diphtheria, E. coli, Legionnaire's disease, and multiple meningitis strains constitutes a safety and health hazard. Children claiming irritability, headaches, difficulty concentrating, and depression constitutes a safety and a health hazard. Yet once again, our very school board is so willing to look the other way and break their own policy because, as one board member stated last meeting, I don't see it as a loss of liberty if medical professionals are guiding us. Nazi Germany Nuremberg trial defendants claimed they were just following direction from a higher authority. So does that not make their crimes against humanity wrong? If a higher authority, say a medical professional, mandates us to do something against our free will, then that is not a loss of liberty. Nuremberg Code Point 1 states that the voluntary consent of a human subject is essential. This means that the person involved should have legal capacity to consent and should be so situated as to be able to exercise the power of choice. The very definition of liberty is the power to choose. Give up the right to choose what experimental medical interventions are applicable to your body, and you have a complete loss of liberty. Recent data from the CDC and Public Health England both state that despite being unvaccinated, children still remain far safer than their vaccinated adult counterparts. A lie doesn't become truth. Wrong doesn't become right, and evil doesn't become good just because it is accepted by the majority. We must stand up for our rights and for the rights of our children. It says so right in your board policy number 6120. Children must develop the skill, knowledge, and values necessary for responsible citizenship and develop an understanding of the obligation and privileges in citizenship of our democracy. They must develop patriotism and loyalty to the ideas and ideals of democracy in America. Why even include that in your policy if you yourselves won't stand for the very ideals? When will our Board of Education start critically thinking, analyzing the overwhelming data against the use of masks in children, follow their own policy, and stand with the parents for the safety of the children? For masks, there's a simple solution, and one that doesn't mean tossing out our own individual civil liberties, and it goes like this. Those who choose to wear a mask can do so, and those who don't are not mandated against their free will.